everybody, and welcome back to the range. Tom here, and today we're doing a remake on this 2010 Chevy Impala. Yeah, I did this in a video quite some time ago, I think right after I started doing airbrushing. So I decided, let's remake it. Let's accept a challenge. So I accepted Gary Shorter's challenge, and you're about ready to find out what that is. So let's get started. Like I said, I wanted to do something a little bit better. Something a little more, I guess, easier paint, I should say. I don't think I did too bad of a job, but I kind of wish I would have did better with the paint. Overall, anything. At first I was real happy with the paint, and then I kind of started looking at it. I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to take it apart. And I took the wheels that were already on it, and I just set it off to the side and just left it there. So I was on Instagram Live the other day, and Gary Shorter made a challenge to me. He said, why don't you make a Nascar into... I guess you're going to have to wait and find out what that's going to be. Because I don't want to give it away too early. I want you guys to kind of keep guessing what it's going to be. So I knew I was going to do something with the interior. I'm putting screws back in. Didn't have to worry about drilling or tapping already. So, thought about putting a little character in here, but I honestly didn't. I have a little driver I could have put in it, but I decided not to. But I knew I was going to modify this a little bit, and just kind of give it a little bit of different look. And I knew I was going to go with a different paint, different decals, different sponsors, whatever you want to do, And, I like how everything turned out. I liked how everything was designed. I liked how everything was painted. The decals went on smooth. I got these big old wheels. I'm trying to modify into putting them where they'll fit with this car. So in order to do that first, I had to cut them out a little bit right now because I needed to make the space for the wheels to be a little bit bigger to fit these size tires, because they were pretty good. I think they came off of a Muscle Machine or something like that. It's been a while. I don't remember. But in order to do that, I had to make sure I cut it down to get to where the tires would fit in there, and they wouldn't be hitting anything, including like the firewall and stuff like that. And I'm getting into that later. Yeah, I know it gets kind of boring just watching the same old thing, but I'm just I'm doing mock-ups. I'm making sure everything fits. I already had the wheels that I wanted to do for it, trimming up this axle to make it fit, and all in all, like I said, it actually looked what I was trying to go for, and I couldn't be happier with the paint. Well, I wanted to make it a roller, but with the paint it's going to build up, so you kind of have to do a lot of modifying on the body to get it to where, I guess, where it needs to be. But I had this old gasser engine, and I got this 3D printed blower from Brad over at Full Customs Diecast to fit on these gasser style engines for the 55 gassers and stuff. So when he sent me a bunch of 3D printed parts, this was one of them. And I had this gasser engine. I already trimmed it down, did what I had to do with it to make it fit. Yeah, the Ghostbuster Ecto 1 is going to be a future build. Don't know exactly what yet. But like I said, I wanted to modify the base. I wanted to get rid of all that extra stuff just laying in the side there. And I wanted to get rid of it. But I couldn't figure out exactly how I was going to or what I was going to do. But I knew I wanted to get rid of this section of it. And, I used my Dremel tool majority of the time for this. And... it was just kind of one of those things that, I felt like I needed to do. Took the file after it, made sure it got all smoothed out so it wasn't having any pieces kind of flapping around or that's something I needed to trim off later. But like I said, believe it or not, I actually ended up taking a lot more off of the interior than I originally planned. And I cut the spot where the seat would be, kind of modified it, made it to the shape of the seat so it kind of went along with the shape, so it was easier to tell what was going on there, because I hate those little side pieces that they put on these things. Yeah, I had these little X-Acto knives to trim away the excess stuff I couldn't get with the file or with the Dremel tool. And the interiors, I don't do a lot with interiors, but I wanted to make this one look a little bit better, I should say, in my book. So I ended up using the rear tires to mark out some lines. Already did this one side, cut it out with this cutting bit, and then I went with some sandpaper bit. I don't know what they're called, so don't shoot me over it. But I had to carve away a lot of the metal to get these tires to fit, because these tires are huge. On this car, these things are massive. So, I had to do a lot of cutting out to make sure everything fit. And, there was a lot of mock-up. There was a lot of, like I said, a lot of doing this and a lot of the sanding. And, I did the sanding to get the wheel wells smoother and, kind of don't look jagged edges or look like they would cut like crap. So I used the sanding attachment that I had for my Dremel, and just kind of smoothed out all the rough spots, got it to where it was smooth all the way around. And there was a lot of mocking up doing this, changing it out. Here I am testing the wheels, and I really like how the wheels set on this thing. I drilled a hole in the back, so I'm going to be putting a parachute in the back of it. Got these big old wheels in the back, and it's already starting to look cool. You ain't figured it out yet? Oh, come on. I know you guys probably figured out what I'm doing with this. Well, back to the build. I had to redo an axle because the axle just ended up becoming too short. So I had to redo the axle with some brass rod. I have this brass tube that I got that's a little bit bigger, and the axle would fit through it. So I ended up using it for an axle tube to get everything straight and everything lined up, and it went extremely well. So I used the width of between the tires to mark it with this pen, and then I took my drill, put this piece in the drill to the line I marked, tightened the drill up, took my jeweler saw, and as the drill bit was rotating, or the drill was working, I just used the Dremel or the jeweler saw to just cut off the end of it. It's a lot better than using the Dremel with the cutting disc on it, because it doesn't heat up. You don't have to worry about it burning your fingers if you're trying to cut it. And honestly, it depends if you're making like short axles or something like that. But if you're making like really long axles, it won't really work all that well, because you only got so much room. And I used a little couple files to get it to where the space is big enough to put the axle tube on, so I could glue it, line it up, see where it was going to be for where the wheel wells were going to be at. And yeah, I had to do a lot of mock-ups. It kind of fell apart here, but I was just trying to see about where the wheel wells were going to set on the wheels, and see if I had to adjust it as I went. And I did. I had to adjust it a few times before I got to where I wanted it, and it's coming along great. Really, it is. I really like how it's coming. It's doing what I'm supposed to. It's looking cool. Everything's flowing. It didn't really take me this long. It took me probably about a day and a half from start to finish, not counting dry time and stuff like that. But it really didn't take me that long. Once Gary Shorter put out this challenge, I had thoughts running in my head. I had ideas going through what I was going to do, what I wanted it to look like, what color paints I was going. I had so many things running through my head for this build. It wasn't funny. And, you see the wheels kind of keep getting away from me there for a minute. But, as I'm test fitting this, made sure the tires were right where I wanted them. And what I'm doing here is I'm using the interior little piece right there that puts the wheels down in the front. I'm using that as kind of like a guide for where I'm going to be cutting the hood open at. Yes, I am cutting a hood open on a Nascar. What am I building? You'll figure it out. I know you will. You guys are smart people. But, anywho, once I get everything marked off, I was kind of getting an idea of like how I was going to put the engine in, where I was going to put it, see how much I had to probably file it around and do what I needed to do to get it to where it wouldn't look like off-centered. It wouldn't look like it looked like it belonged. Let's just put it that way. So there was a lot of filing along with this, trying to get it, a lot of mocking up, trying to get it to where the engine would pop all the way through, see how stuff would work. And because I didn't want to get rid of the front post because I kind of needed that. And, I needed it because I wanted it to be secured to the base. And I did a lot of filing, checking before I actually finally glued the engine to the interior piece. And, trust me, I was trying not to do a lot of filing on video because it bores me just watching it while I'm doing the voiceover. But I wanted to make sure that the engine fit, even if I had to trim the engine a little bit, do what I had to do to get it to where it would fit through the hood. Because, like I said, I wanted it to where I could just put it and snap it all together, and it goes perfectly together. And like that's the thing that I love about it. Everything went perfect. The engine, once I got it modified, as you see here, I started test fitting everything. It was looking good. I wanted to test fit it with all the pieces on there just to get an idea of where the engine was going to be. So when I glued it to the interior part, it was right where it needed to be as soon as it got put in the car. And here's kind of everything's lined up. I got this big old engine sticking out of the hood, big old slicks on the back, little wheels on the front. And I'm serious, if you cannot tell me what this is by now, I don't know what I'm going to do with you guys. I figured. Because the hint is not in the title of the video today. But I guess if you haven't figured it out by now, I guess we're just going to have to wait till the final results for you to find out what this turned into. But, I really love how it turned out. No, we're not close to the end yet. There's still a lot more stuff I got to do to this thing before we finish this video up. But like I said, the first things I wanted to do was make sure mocking up everything, make sure the engine was sitting right where it needed to be. Everything was snapped into place. The wheels were where they needed to be. And man, they look sharp. I really love how this is becoming. And, thank you to Gary Shorter for the idea, because I'm always looking for new ideas to build a car or some kind of new car to build out of something. But he threw this one out there, and I'm like, you know what? That's something I haven't tried yet. And he already knows what it is, so if he's watching this video, hi, Gary. Thanks for the idea. I really appreciate it. And I mean that, because, it got my creative juices flowing, man. I spent most of the morning packing up all the boxes from the Monster Jam Challenge, which I would like to thank everybody who sent a custom or watched the Monster Jam live feeds. I really do appreciate all that support. Thank you for a great 2 nights of Monster Jam racing, because I had a blast doing it. And I'm really hoping we do another one next year because I'm going to be having some better prizes, hopefully. And that's the thing. I want to try to do my best to have some better prizes next year, and I will. I will have better prizes, and I think you guys are going to like the prizes next year. So, you see me polishing it up and everything. I kind of really didn't talk about it too much because you guys knew what I was doing. And it came out nice and shiny. It really did. So, remember the whole... Yeah, that's where I got to put a drag chute in. Nice little parachute. Now, I'm serious. If you can't figure out what this thing is by now, I don't know. I've been giving you hints right and left. So, yeah. Well, here we are with the base, and what I did was I got these little NOS bottles I got from Brad over at Full Customs Diecast. He sent these with those 3D printed parts, so I decided I'm going to throw some NOS bottles on the base. And, kind of spiff up the interior a little bit, kind of give it a little bit more of a style, like a racer kind of car. And I didn't put no wires or anything on it, anything like that. So, I wanted to make sure you can still see them or not. I wanted to make sure you can see the NOS bottles, and you can see I cut off the back half of the interior and just left the driver's seat and the center console area along with the dash and all that jive. But I finished that up, and what I'm doing is I'm taping off the front and rear windows, because I'm going to be painting the side portions of the mirrors, or not the mirrors, but the windows. I'm going to be painting them an aluminum color to kind of give it that race style look. For like, it's got like an aluminum like fire block thing or whatever. I don't know. You guys are probably laughing your butts off at me right now. Just trying to describe things. It's hard sometimes. But anyhow, I went and painted the aluminum over the outside of it. I didn't really do much on the inside because I didn't want it to kind of, block the windows. So once I got it taped off, set it to the side, I wanted to get the interior where I wanted to get it, and then I was going to send it off to be painted. And like I'm doing right now, I'm getting everything, setting it up. Here's the first coat of paint that I did. I did a white, and then I did a wicked gold color. And so you can see that parachute sticking out in the back. Not too bad of a color with this wicked gold. I really like it. I didn't do too much taping on this portion. I just wanted to kind of get the look I was going for. I wanted it to kind of, it's two-tone color, but I didn't want it like your standard two-tone where you see it cover the hood and it don't go that far. But I wanted to kind of make it kind of turn downward right around the front of the wheel well in the front. And you see this gold paint actually covers really nice. I really like it. It looks really good in the sunlight. So I was really happy with that. So I wanted to put these small little lines, little race lines on the front, mocking those up, making sure they got straight. I wasn't going to be doing a lot of paint styles. I wasn't going to do a lot of different taping off. I was just doing something simple and easy. And see, that's the thing is, sometimes the simple paint jobs are the best ones. And all I did was just add decals after I got done painting it. But here I am with the second coat of paint on. And I'm kind of putting a little bit of silver tint into the headlights area. I know they're not working headlights, but I did a charcoal metallic as the top part of the car, and I'm painting the parachute. I'm detailing up the engine, painted the engine aluminum along with the interior. Kind of just made it look similar, like an actual racing style interior. So with all that, getting the red for the little bit of dots on the blower, I decided to paint the front seat part of the center console and the steering wheel all red. And just kind of give it a little more color on that interior. So everything would flow, and it still flowed together. Everything looked good. I was really liking how it was turning. Paint was doing great. The paint was doing exactly what I was wanting it to do. Dry properly without any runs. And once I got most of the stuff ready, here's the base. Got a little bit of set of drag bars from Brad over there at Full Custom Diecast. Hit him up on Instagram and YouTube, because he makes some outstanding 3D parts. And, I can't wait to get more from him to use in my videos. And I've used a few of his drag bars already in some of my cars, and one or two of my videos I used a couple drag bars in there. And I just wanted to make sure that everything lined up, everything looked good. I ended up detailing the wheelie bars on there, the drag bars. It kind of, you barely see it right off the bat, but I did them. Kind of just testing everything out, seeing how it looks. And here I am detailing the wheels on the wheelie bar, just making sure that you can tell that they're wheelie bars. And that's what I liked about the set he came up with. So why don't we go ahead and check out what we started off with. We're doing a remake of this 2010 Chevy Impala Nascar car. I've always been a Chevy guy. I wanted to remake this after I thought about it for a while, and I got this nice thought to do something with. So without further ado, why don't we go ahead and check out the final results.